but staying narrow, staying precise, and don't let fear of missing out, right? Don't let that detract you from niching down because of thinking, oh well, if I only am talking to commercial airline pilots, what if there's this other person that wants to jump in? And it's like, you know what? They still will. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Own the Exit, another episode. This is an entrepreneurial podcast for business owners, business leaders, founders, entrepreneurs with motivational content, and just love doing this podcast with you all. My name is Aaron Leatherdale. I am one of your co-hosts for Own the Exit. Today, I wanted to just do a little solo kind of podcast here with some thoughts that I was having. A very common trap that new business owners fall into related to marketing. And so that's what I wanted to talk with you guys about today. And it's a trap that I've kind of fallen into or wrestled with. And basically the idea is this, if you want to be number one in your industry or with your product, you've got to niche down, right? So it's the idea of niching. You've heard the saying, riches are in the niches, right? But as a new business owner, it can be tempting to try to go too broad because you don't want to exclude people, right? You want to have as big of a net as you can, but it's a trap, and it's better to be number one in a very small, very targeted niche than it is to be in kind of services for the whole world, and then your voice and your product and your offering kind of gets lost because it's not specialized. And so, let me give you a couple examples. I founded a private equity firm, and at first my goal was I'm going to talk to accredited investors. And it was so broad, but I was like, well, I want to get all of them in, right? I want doctors, I want, successful business owners, I want family offices, I want just everybody, right? And then I realized I need to be more niche, or you call it niche, or, I call it niche. Alex Hormozi has a very funny quote. He says, "Don't make me niche slap you," because it's that temptation of basically trying to go too broad. And so I ended up settling on, entrepreneurs, because that's what I am myself. So kind of identifying that avatar and saying, I'm going to talk to successful entrepreneurs who want to create passive income while staying in their lane. And not having to go through all the brain damage that goes along with, alternative investments and real estate holdings and things like that. They can just be passive. And so I've kind of drilled down into that even more because now I'm talking to a specific person versus an audience that's so broad that I just become another kind of meaningless, private equity firm that doesn't actually target anything. And so that's been a learning experience for me personally, as a business owner, growing in my understanding of marketing. There's a book called Blue Ocean Strategy, and it talks about the blue ocean, red ocean. So, red ocean is basically all the industries in the world, right? With clearly defined, boundaries that are known, that are competing for each other. It's very cutthroat. That's why they refer to it as red ocean, because there's blood in the water. And then there's blue ocean, and blue ocean is industries that are very untapped or even unknown products where there's not a lot of competition, where you can really get in there and be a leader. Like I think of Elon Musk. Who's competing with Elon Musk to go to Mars, right? It's a blue ocean. There's no one else that's trying to beat him to go to Mars. And so that's a blue ocean. But it's trying to find, if you're going to be in the red ocean, let's say you start a hamburger chain, you're going to be fighting with 100 other hamburger chains that have been doing it for a long time, and your product is probably not going to be that much better, maybe just marginally. The profits are paper thin. You're fighting over because it's so broad, but for my business and other businesses that I'm part of or have been doing consulting with, we're trying to really narrow down to that specific audience, because then you can become number one. And here's an example. We're talking about private equity firms. There's an equity firm, and this is their slogan: passive real estate investments for commercial airline pilots. And so that's awesome, because it's like, if you're a commercial airline pilot, you're speaking to me, because it's targeted, it's small. And he actually goes as far as to say, I'm the number one passive real estate investment firm for commercial airline pilots, because there probably aren't very many of them, maybe none, that actually only target that. And so that's just something to think about as you have a business, as you're figuring out your marketing strategy. Become a boss and just own it in one small niche. And once you conquer that, there's nothing stopping you from going to another niche and another one and another one, and expanding as the market dictates you to do that. But staying narrow, staying precise, and don't let fear of missing out, right? Don't let that detract you from niching down because of thinking, oh, well, if I only am talking to commercial airline pilots, what if there's this other person that wants to jump in? And it's like, you know what? They still will. They will still be able to jump in with you, and you'll still attract people because you're number one. And then you can move to the next avatar and be number one there, and number one there, and number one there. It's better to be number one over a small market segment than just be lost amongst the vagueness and the red ocean. And so these are just some thoughts that I had for you guys today about marketing, things I'm implementing in my own business, things I'm trying to wrestle with and refine even in my messaging. And, I've had people email me, go, hey, I'm not an entrepreneur. Could I still invest with you? I actually had that question. And we're like, of course you can. Right? We're not going to exclude you, but they can see that we're targeted and we're clear on what we're doing. We're clear on our branding. We're clear on our identity, and we know who we're talking to. And so thanks, guys, so much for tuning in. This is a shorter episode of Own the Exit, but I hope there's a few tips and ideas here. Remember, the book is called Blue Ocean Strategy. Highly recommend that book. Alex Hormozy, I reference him as well. He's a phenomenal content creator, marketer, has very sharp business ideas, marketing ideas, and look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.